Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Okay, welcome back to the program. My name is Abu Idris, and we're going to continue with our Hijrah tips and advice for those who are wanting to live in the lands of Muslims and those who are already there, and for all you veterans and so forth. So, a little housekeeping first. Please, if there's anything I've said that is of benefit, we're trying to grow the subscriber base because we want to benefit as many people as possible with the information that we have. Forewarned is forearmed. Please like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button. All right. There's an expression that says, "If speech is from silver, then silence is golden." So understand that you may be very happy in the place that you're in. You're finally amongst the Muslims. You made it through all the struggle and everything else that you had to go through, and you finally land and you're there and you're starting to get familiar with the area. You're starting to get comfortable with the people, and you're starting to make friends. And you are, the newbie, the new guy, the new girl, in the establishment. You're new. So automatically all the eyes are going to be drawn on you because you're new. And people want to know everything about you, where you come from, and are you Muslim? How long you been Muslim? When did you come to Islam? What made you take Shahada? How are the Muslims there where you come from? What city are you from? Are you from New York? Are you from California? Are you from Texas? And you're a topic of interest. Be careful with this newfound fame. Number one, it's temporary, okay? Because like any new thing, it has its heyday. So it's going to be interesting for a while. And then after that, something else bright and shiny is going to come along and people are going to run toward that. This is par for the course. But in the course of your 15 minutes of fame, I need you to really be careful of the things that you say and reveal about yourself and about your life and your past and so forth. Reason being is that, number one, you don't know who you're talking to. You just don't know who you're talking to. You could be talking to, a government agent. You don't know. And there are those there. In every country, you've got agents who are undercover and they are monitoring, the people who are coming there, the foreigners and as well as the locals and so forth. I'm not saying this to cause paranoia. I'm not saying that the country you go to has this where you're going to be. I'm saying there's an element there that exists and it will always exist. Be careful who you're talking to, because your words might be taken out of context. And that happens a lot with language. Number two, you might be talking to a person who just loves to be a busybody. They gossip all the time about this one and that one and this one and that one. I used to be in the room with people, and that's all they used to talk about was so and so and fulan and fulana and Kether and Kether, and I had to stay out of those rooms because it was too much. Okay, so you're dealing with people who are very, very chatty. You're dealing with people who love to gossip. They involve themselves in a lot of kila wakad. So be careful with that. Number three, and this is probably the biggest one. You're going to see a lot of people treat certain kinds of foreigners very unfairly, or certain kinds of people very unfairly, and that person might come to you and say, "Hey, this happened to me, such and such and such and such. Did it happen to you?" No, and part of that, and Allah knows best, is because the more silent you are, you keep a mysterious air about it. The expression familiarity breeds content. So when people get content with you, when people get satisfied with you, when people get comfortable around you, they start saying things and doing things that they would not say or do like they didn't say and they didn't do when they first met you. Because they didn't know what you were about. They couldn't figure you out. They didn't know where you come from, what planet, what platform you come from. They didn't know anything about you. So they had to tread carefully so as not to offend you or to go beyond the boundaries, of what they should do when they interact with you. Keep that same air. Reveal very little about yourself. I'm not saying be cloaked in secrecy. I'm not saying you should be quiet, actually physically quiet all the time and don't say anything and like that. I'm saying be careful with what you choose to reveal about yourself. Okay, some things people just don't need to know. If you tell people, I was from the streets and we used to do this and that and that, and now what Allah guided me. What's happening with that is that a lot of times that will serve to build upon the the stereotype idea that they have of you already. Okay, so if you are, for example, if you are a Black person like me, the common idea is that Black people, Black Americans, are either basketball players, drug dealers, rappers, singers, an athlete of some sort, a gangster, or he's been in prison. I'm sorry, that's what it is. That's been my experience with that. And this is what people. This is why with the Black Muslims in particular, people are very surprised when you tell them you're a Muslim. They're like, "You're a Muslim?" I mean, like how did you come to Islam? They want to know, like, were you, what they're listening for is something that's going to confirm what they think they know about you. So if you start going into your whole thing about how you was in the streets and used to sell drugs and used to hurt people and you was a gangster and you was this and you was that, they go, see, I told you, yeah, but Allah got to Islam. But yeah, see, all of them like that. See, you're feeding that stereotype. Keep that stuff to yourself. Also, from that is maybe that you're voicing evil, and Allah does not like us to talk, or Allah does not like us to talk about evil in public like that. On top of that, you also might wind up revealing some sins that you used to make that Allah forgave you for, when you entered Islam, or Allah hid that from the rest of the people that didn't know that about you. He hid that from you so that he can have some mercy on you and give you a chance to get yourself together so that you would not be involved in that sin anymore. And then you just told everybody what the sin was. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, all of my ummah will be forgiven except for those who broadcast. What is broadcasting, ya Rasulullah? A person makes a sin, or commits a sin in private, and that sin is between him and Allah. Nobody saw him, nobody knew. And so if Allah wants to forgive him, he will forgive him. If he wants to punish him, he'll punish him. But then he goes out and he starts telling the people what he used to do. As the Christians call it, testifying, right? They get up in church, I used to do this, I used to be this, I used to do that. Testifying to show the favor that Allah has given. I get the bad. I understand where you're coming from and why you chose to go into that area, to show that Allah has benefited you how you used to be compared to how you are now. But the problem is, in the process of that, you are revealing sins that you used to commit. So you want to keep that to yourself, okay? If you don't do that, this is what I have noticed. And I cannot speak for other races of Muslims that come from America. I can only talk about Black people of African descent that come from America that have accepted Islam. What happens when you feed into that stereotype and you confirm that stereotype for him, even though you have come to Islam, they left that part. Because some of them think that part about your life is actually cool. Do you see this stuff in movies? They see it everywhere they go and they want to be like that. You will find them trying to talk like the brothers who come from New York and the brothers who come from, Philadelphia and like that, the urban areas, and they want to talk like that. I heard it just the other day, amongst some Somali brothers. Okay. Yo, man, yo, and I'm like, I'm cringing. I'm not in the conversation, but I'm cringing because I'm like, why are you talking like that? You don't talk like that. Why are you talking like that? Because you want to try to sound like somebody you're not, because some part of you has glorified, or you idolize, or you admire, or you respect, or whatever other thing you want to say about that particular side of the culture, which is all wrong. And you think it's cool to be like that and to talk like that and to walk like that and to dress like that. I've seen just as many Arab guys, African guys, sagging their pants below their butt as I do the people here in the United States. Just as many. Because they have assimilated their culture and they think it's cool. Okay? And then you come along in your effort to be friendly, in your effort to be sociable. I don't think that I am 100% sure you're not purposely glorifying something that you used to do of wrong and evil. I know, I'm sure, 100%, and Allahu Ta'ala, I'm 100% sure you're trying to show the path where you were, vice where you are now. And because Allah says, and about the favors of your Lord, talk about it. I get it. But there's some parts you want to leave out. There's some parts you want to leave out because there's no fadl in that, and you run more harm than good. And what happens is after you do that over a while, one day you're gonna come in and go, hey, yo, what's wrong with you? You all right? Why are you talking like that? Nah, I'm just saying, because you just whoa. What's all this? Because now he thinks he knows you to the level that he can communicate with you like that. No, absolutely not. Keep a decorum of respect. Keep a certain respectable distance. We can get to know each other. We can break it up. We can go get coffee and, and hang out at the donut shop or whatever, hang out in the desert and play some sports and stuff like that. I invite you, you invite me. It's okay. We can do that. We're going to be friends because we're Muslims. But don't ask me to tell you about the stuff that happened to me from the sins I used to make. If you want to know about my journey to Islam, I'm going to give you the censored version. I'm going to give you the clean version of how I came to Islam. I'm going to leave off all that other stuff. And if you persist in asking me, I'm going to respectfully say, you know what? Actually, those are things that I did in my past. And I don't like to talk about them because Allah forgave them for me when I came to Islam. Yeah. If you bring it from that bad, they'll understand. Okay, I understand. From my culture, we don't really talk like that about stuff like that. Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay. Like that, respectfully. Okay. So you want to keep that air of mystery about you, and that is going to really help you because let's use another angle too. You might have a lot of experience where you come from in terms of the work, the job, the craft, your skill set, places that you have gone in your life and experiences in your life. Give those in slow, measured out measurements, because what happens is you give the people the impression that you're some kind of know-it-all. Okay. Oh, he's always talking about when he was in Saudi. He's always talking about when he was in Malaysia. He's always talking about when he grew up. He's always talking about his countries like this. And he's always talking about this. And you can't say anything to him except he has to rattle off the time when he was in such and such a place and he did da. So slow measurements. I'm not saying that you can't share your life experience with people and give people advice, but do it in a way that it's slow and it's measured and you're not doing it all the time. Less is more. Less is best. I'm telling you, less is best. The less people know about you, okay? Let them form new opinions about you from what they see in their interactions with you, as opposed to the know-it-all Brit, the know-it-all Canadian, the know-it-all American, because we don't know it all, but this is what it presents itself. And the other thing with that as we close is that if you get into the habit of doing that, what you don't realize and what I don't realize is that every time someone has an interaction with us, foreigners, no matter where you're from, no matter what race you are, they formulate an idea in their mind that all of you from that area, from that tribe, from that race, from that country, from that city are like the guy that I just met. They're all like him. I kind of stay away from that because, I heard you guys are like this. And this has happened a lot. And so now when you go places, you don't understand why you are having a hard time, making friends and acquaintances and being sociable with people, or why there's really no follow through. Like, you guys are meeting the masjid, shake hands, whatever. You might even exchange numbers, but you call him, he's not available. He doesn't call you for anything. It's just kind of like you my masjid friend. I see you at the masjid. I see you at the muhadara. I see you at the lecture, like that, maybe there's a dawra or something like that. And the sheikh, he come through and I see you there, but I'm not inviting you nowhere because, I met people like you and you all seem to be that way. Excuse me. Okay. So that creates an unfair stereotype about your fellow countrymen. So be careful with that. Give them the best impressions that you can give them and don't give so much about yourself. So that's it. That's my advice. That's my Hijrah tips and advice. Again, if there's any benefit you got, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, and we will talk to you in the next video. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.